to the FAC 21 broadcast. It's an exciting time. The midterm elections are just around the corner, and today we're going to discuss some interesting races in Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm here today with two of my best congressional analysts, Max Johnston and John Albert Mansour. We're going to dive into the Senate race between incumbent Amy Klobuchar, representing the Democratic Farmer-Labor Party, and Republican challenger Jim Newberger. Then we will discuss a House race taking place in Minnesota's 6th District between incumbent Republican Tom Emmer and Democratic challenger Ian Todd. Now, Max, can you give me some background on the Senate race?
Thanks, Gavin. Let's take a look at some background info and voting trends in Minnesota. Minnesota has 5.4 million people residing in it, with 85.5% of the population being white. And since 2000, in the presidential election, Minnesota has been a blue state. Also since 2000, Republicans have never controlled more than 4 out of the 8 Minnesota congressional seats. Currently, the Democratic Farmer-Labor Party controls both Senate seats.
I didn't know Minnesota was so blue of late. Tell me more about this Democratic Farmer-Labor Party.
Yeah, well, the Democratic Farmer-Labor Party is an affiliate of the Democratic National Party. It was actually founded in 1944 by Herbert Humphreys when the Democrats of Minnesota merged with the Farmer-Labor Party. Minnesota is the 5th largest agricultural producing state, so agricultural issues are very prevalent in this upcoming election.
Tell me more about the Senate race. Who are the candidates?
All right, so the rep for the DFL is incumbent Amy Klobuchar. She's been in office since 2006 and could be a possible presidential candidate in the future. In 2012, she experienced a sophomore surge of 8%, increasing her two-party vote share. Klobuchar emphasizes bipartisanship and policies that will strengthen the economy and support small businesses. On the other hand, challenger is the Republican Jim Newberger, a member of the Minnesota State Legislature. He also believes in greater tax cuts, is very pro-Second Amendment, and wants to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act.
Do you think that Newberger can overcome the powers and advantages of incumbency to beat Klobuchar?
I don't think so, Gavin. Jim Newberger, there's no doubt he's a quality candidate. He's been elected into office before, but Klobuchar has way too much at her disposal. She has all the powers of incumbency and way too much money to even know what to do with. Despite this, in August, they decided to have a debate, which was very intriguing. Newberger is running for Congress while running against it. During the debate, Newberger attacks Klobuchar's voting history and their influence by big money in an attempt to discredit her. He then presented himself as a viable candidate, voicing his opinions on taxes and national debt. In response, Klobuchar engaged in credit claiming with constant reference to her bipartisanship and citing many bills that she has passed along with President Trump.
What did the poll say?
Well, the incumbent has had a constant lead in the poll over the course of the race. The latest polls actually gave Klobuchar a 23-point lead. Honestly, in my opinion, with the support of this data and the recent voting history of Minnesota, I think Klobuchar wins this race handily, at least 20 points.
It appears that this race is going to go against national trends, as Klobuchar will likely get an overwhelming amount of the vote share. Now let's go on to the House race. You ready for us, Jay?
Yes, of course. The 6th district's demographics are very slightly from the state's average demographics. The district is 91.2% white, while African Americans make up 2.2% of the district's population. Republican candidate Tom Emmer, an incumbent who was first elected into the office in 2014. The challenger Ian Todd, a DFL candidate, is an Air Force veteran who has never run for elected office. In contrast to the state's trends, this district has been represented by Republicans since 2002. We attribute this contrast to the demographic discrepancies between the district and the rest of the state.
What are the main issues, and what happened during the debate?
The main issue at stake in this race are similar to the issues at stake in the race Max described. During the debate, the candidates discussed healthcare, taxes, economic growth, and of course agriculture. The challenger Todd is supportive of universal healthcare and increased overall taxes. In contrast, Emmer believes that universal healthcare will destroy the entire healthcare system as we know it. Emmer engaged in credit claiming when talking about the economy, revealing that he supported some fiscally successful tax cuts. Emmer made reference to Ronald Reagan encouraging voters to ask themselves if they are better off now than they were 2 years ago.
Yep, Ronald Reagan. I've heard that before. Could you give me a prediction on the outcome of the race?
I'd have to give the upper hand to Congressman Emmer here, Gavin. The polls indicate this as well. Emmer has had a commanding lead in the polls, a lead that has only increased in recent months. Emmer also has the powers of incumbency at his disposal. The DFL candidate Ian Todd does not have very much going for him at this point. He only has $6,000 cash at hand and is not a quality challenger, as he never has been elected into office before. As mentioned previously, this race prediction goes against the trends for the races in the rest of the states. Also, this result is not very similar to national trends, as the polls give Emmer a 23-point favor.